I've been waiting on the fault line, living evil take me on. I'll be standing with my dying bed, if you care to come along, racing with the rising tide.
Okay, so we've arrived. It took us about 2 hours to get here from Sheffield. We're just staying in a little place that I found on booking.com that's like a little annex, I guess, off the back of someone's house. It seems very nice. Plan this evening is to just go find some food. There's a pub and a chippy in the village, several pubs apparently. And then just try and relax. I still don't really know how tomorrow's going to go. There are three plans, effectively, depending on how things feel once I'm out there. If I get out there and don't feel great, it will be just squeeze a PB out of the situation. If I get out and feel okay, I'm going to go for 150. If I get out there and feel absolutely fantastic, I'll go for sub 150. So there's options there depending on how things feel tomorrow, basically. At the moment, legs feel okay, but we'll see. Okay, so the place we're staying is called the Old Piggery, and we've got a really nice bathroom, massive shower. There's not a lot of room to film in here, but I'll do my best. And bedroom is also pretty huge. Really nicely furnished, and the owners seem really cool. So far, seems like a recommendation. This doesn't come with the place. I brought him with me. Yeah, fully fitted kitchen, so probably be nice to stay here for a few days if you needed to. Good morning. It is about 7:20. I am going to make myself coffee in about 10ish minutes, and then do some mobility stuff and have some breakfast in about an hour-ish, so that'll give me 2 hours to digest before the race starts. I still don't really know how I'm feeling about today, and I don't really know how it's going to go, so I'm just going to have to get out there and I think see how it unfolds, really. The weather's looking... it should be fine. There's a bit more blue sky than I would have liked, which is threatening sunnier weather than I would have liked. But if it stays like this, it'll be perfect. Temperatures are good, the forecast is suggesting, and we might get a little bit of rain. So that's ideal, really, but yeah, I still don't really know how I'm feeling, so I'm just going to have to see how it goes. Banana time. Okay, just getting some drills and stuff done before the race to loosen the muscles up, try and calm my nerves, and just generally kind of get my legs ready for running a half marathon. Did a couple of strides and then headed over to the starting area to get ready for the race start. Alright, I'm going to talk you through the race a little bit. So this is us all gathering for the start, about 500 people lined up for this race. You can see we start on a field. This is in the middle of the village. First 400-500 metres around this field, loads of people out supporting and cheering everybody on. My first 2 kilometres were way too quick. I could not get my legs under control, and this was the case as we ran through the village and then out onto the country roads. I just couldn't get my legs to behave and play ball, and this continued to be the case all the way through. Well, for most of the race, I was moving too quickly. I just couldn't get myself to slow down. It was really difficult, so we head out onto the country roads here. It was partially closed roads for the race, but out on these country roads it was really quiet, not much traffic, not much to worry about, so pretty relaxed. And we're coming up to the 6k mark here. Greg got a little bit of footage of me, still feeling pretty strong at this point, still moving too fast, but I felt fine. felt really, really in control at this stage. So I just kind of kept moving as I was. I knew I was moving quicker than planned, but I just kept going really. And this was a really nice downhill that we had at one point. So we're sort of coming up to the 10k mark, and this is halfway. I was still feeling okay, but I knew I'd gone through 10k way too fast. It was my second fastest ever 10k time, which is not really what you want in the first half of a half marathon, but I kept plugging along, just kept trying to get that pace back under control and still really not succeeding. And it was kind of at this point, as we're coming up to 16k, started to fall off a cliff here. My legs really started to just become devoid of energy, and I was really dragging myself along. I didn't film that much in the last 5k. Here we are coming up to 11 miles, and it was really just a struggle from here on out. Greg gets a little bit more footage of me here. This is about just over a kilometre left to go. Really just dragging myself at this point, somehow still managing to put one foot in front of the other, but really struggling, really not moving at the pace that I had been for the rest of the race. I managed to pull out an okay finish at this point, but it was super tough. At the end of the race, I did manage to get a quick chat with some new world record holders.
So you have broken the world record for running a half marathon as a caterpillar, correct?
The official record
In a six-person costume, okay.
costume. We just did it to be a giggle, and here we are.
Yeah.
We've got every age represented, so we've got somebody in the 20s, somebody in the 30s, somebody in the 40s, 50s and 60s.
Amazing.
We are a multi-generational household.
That's incredible. Well done. Yeah.
And also
Fantastic.
the race director was really supportive. We wanted to do Freckleton because it's its 16th year.
Yeah.
And it's the oldest half marathon going.
Yeah,
so.
that's incredible.
We have some bananas following us who hopefully will feed us later.
Thank you so much, and well done. All right, we're about 2 days post-race. I'm going to give a little bit of a review of the event, I guess, in terms of the event itself and how I'm feeling about my performance now that I've had a couple of days to think about it. The event itself, I thought was really good. I thought it was a nice course. It was undulating, rural, so it's not necessarily the fastest course compared to my very limited experience running road half marathons. It was the flattest I've done, but I thought it was nice. The undulations, I feel like, kind of the downhills made up for the uphills, so there weren't really any points where I felt like I was being slowed down significantly by the uphills. The only time I really felt that kicked in was basically right at the very end. There was a bit of an uphill in the last kilometre that I really didn't need at that point, but aside from that, I felt like it was effectively a flat course. But I do live in Sheffield, so my idea of flat is horribly skewed. Atmosphere of the event was really nice. The field isn't particularly massive. There were about 500 runners, I think. There's space for around 600, but I don't think they sell out every year. So it's not a really big field, but it was a pretty quick field. It does seem like a lot of people in the local area do come together for this one to take part in it and to help the event happen. So it had a really good community vibe to it. There were loads of spectators all the way through the village, and even right out on the course in the villages around the course. Loads of points where there were like really big loud groups of spectators, which was surprising considering the route does go right out into some rural areas. So it was really nice to see that just the whole area around the village does seem to get involved. The finisher medal for this one is really nice. Got a t-shirt because it was the 60th running of the event, so they had kind of commemorative medals and t-shirts. I think they do medals and t-shirts every year, but I think these ones had a slight twist to them. And we also got a souvenir program as well to commemorate it being the 60th running of the event. Logistics around the event were really well organised because it's not a particularly gigantic pool of runners. There was loads of parking space, really well organised on that front. Toilet situation was really well organised, which I know can be a point of stress for some people. And yeah, just generally I think it was quite a relaxed event. I would recommend it if anybody's looking for a mostly flat half marathon and they just want to maybe spend a couple of days in a nice village near Blackpool. The village itself had quite a lot to offer, several pubs, nice places to stay, so it is a good one to make a weekend of it. And also massive congratulations to the group of ladies from Preston Harriers for breaking the world record for a half marathon done in a 6-person costume. That was really, really cool to see. There were a bunch of bananas running a few minutes behind them as well, who I'm not sure they were going for a particular time. I know they were like heading for, I think their goal was like 2:11 or between 2:11 and 2:16, and they ended up running 2:06 as a bunch of bananas. But I don't know if they were going for a particular record or anything. I think that might have just been for the fun of it. My own race performance left quite a lot to be desired, I think. I did PB, so I can't really be too disappointed with that, but it was definitely more of a PB despite everything I did wrong. Went out far too fast, obviously, as you saw me discuss through the video. I just really couldn't get my legs under control. I don't know whether it was just event excitement. I'm not particularly experienced with this sort of race. Obviously with fell racing and trail racing, you're forced to manage your pace a lot of the time, because you can literally only go as fast as your body will go uphill and through mud and through bog. So road really doesn't have those kind of restrictions and limitations. So I think the challenges with road running are much more in terms of really learning to regulate yourself effectively and manage your pace effectively, which I obviously didn't do very well, but PB'd, so that's that really. One thing that I think did save my race was that I've been really diligent with hydration the day before and the day of the race, and I'd been quite careful about making sure I'd eaten enough the day before, and I was quite careful about my nutrition the day of as well. I did take some Kendal mint cake with me on the race, so I had that about 40 minutes in, and I think that did help quite a lot, and that was probably what made me, that kind of combination of hydration and making sure the nutrition was there, probably just helped with making sure I could keep moving in those last 5k rather than my legs just completely giving out from under me. So a lot to learn. I'm not really much of a road runner in terms of, it's not my favoured terrain at all, but it was a good experience. It was good to go out of my comfort zone for this kind of first bit of summer, and it was a good learning experience, and I think it's been good for my general like training to do a bit of road training as well. So now that that's done and out of the way, I will be focusing back on the fells again. I have a couple more road races, but they're not serious ones, so they're just sort of in the calendar. And then in terms of goals for the rest of the year, I don't really have any. I just want to have fun over summer, really. I've got loads of races on the plan, on the calendar. I'm just gonna race as much as possible, just really enjoy myself, blasting around fell races, trying to go as fast as I can, I guess. And I'll just keep lifting heavy stuff in the gym, trying to get as strong as possible. I do have an ultra marathon in October, but I'm not targeting that specifically in any way. I'm doing it with a friend, so it's going to be a bit more of a sort of enjoyable day out, I suppose. So there's not much in the way of overly structured or serious training going on over the summer, and I'm just really looking forward to enjoying myself and exploring the hills and doing some silly races. Yeah, so you'll see quite a lot of videos, because I'm racing pretty much every week. Past a certain point, so there'll be a lot of race videos coming up, and then any other bits and pieces that I sprinkle in between. So thank you for watching this race recap of Freckleton Half Marathon. I will be back soon with more stuff, so I'll catch you next time.